What's going on, everybody? It's Antonio from Akari Press. We're on the Indiegogo, $67,602. Santana, baby. Triple cover pack is, of course, still ongoing. If you want it, head on over to Indiegogo or just type in AkariPress.com. It'll take you right there. Link, of course, is in the description. All right, so Elizabeth Warren was on the Breakfast Club this morning, and she got ran through by my man Charlamagne the God. They asked her a lot of questions, and I thought this was going to be completely a soft shoe type interview, and they didn't hit her too hard, but then Charlamagne, they started touching on the Indian ancestry, and that's where I thought some of this got real spicy. I wish I could play it, but they will definitely ding my video, which I do not want. So I can't play it, but go on the Breakfast Club YouTube, and as you can see, it's like a 48-minute interview, and check it out. But she touched on, when they asked the question, she touched on it. I thought it was laughable because I never believed that she was a person of Native American ancestry. I never thought that a few years ago, and it was so funny because that's why I was kind of hoping that she might actually be the front runner and get the Democratic nomination, because when she was originally out there claiming to be a Native American and all this kind of stuff, the president was, goofing on her and calling her Pocahontas. And there were so many people getting fake offended. Oh, Donald Trump called you Pocahontas. That's offensive. Native Americans, blah, 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 blah. And then it backfired. And you started seeing Native American groups. You saw the Cherokee Nation kind of come out and say that Elizabeth Warren claiming to be Native American is inappropriate and offensive and all this. And she actually had to, she actually went in and apologized to the Cherokee Nation and stuff like that. But I was never surprised by this, because she does like a lot of people do. When it's convenient for her to be a minority, she was a minority. And when it's convenient to be white, she was white. And that's not shocking, especially when you look at the history of Native Americans in this country. You look at the Dawes rolls that were enacted to give land allotments to Native Americans and freedmen's, but like the 5 civilized tribes and freedmen and stuff, they had all these land allotments. And what a lot of people were able to do when they've gone back and look at history is that, you could, the person that was writing people's name, that was keeping track of who was supposed to be getting what land and everything, you could slip that person $5 and have your name added to this list. And that's where we actually get the term $5 Indian. There were a lot of white people that would pay these people $5 and have their names added to the Dawes rolls, and so they would get these land allotments and be classified as Native American. And it seems much more likely that whoever these people were a few generations ago in Elizabeth Warren's family were more likely the $5 Indians instead of actual Native American citizens. And her DNA test proved that, which that was a big thing when they did the DNA test, and it showed that she had, I have more Native American DNA in me, and I'm not claiming to be Native American. I will say that my mother's mother was half Cherokee, half black. So that was their marriage. Her parents, one of her parents was Cherokee Indian, the other one was my great grandfather, black man, and then they had my grandmother Ophelia, and then my grandmother met my grandfather, and then they had my mother and 8 other children, and then that's how I came about. So I know for a fact that I have some Native, but I'm not going around claiming to be Native American. I'm not part of a tribe, which and that's where you always get into that tricky stuff. But I definitely liked that she didn't get to skate on that. But another thing I thought was real funny was that Charlamagne actually said, you kind of the original Rachel Dolezal. And that was like a laugh out loud moment to me because, for those of you that may not remember Rachel Dolezal, she had actually been like president of a local chapter of the NAACP, all that stuff. She actually went to Howard University, husband's black, biracial kids, the whole nine. But she was claiming to be a light-skinned black woman, and she turned out to actually not be, and her family exposed her that she's just a white girl, and she just happened to be married to a black man. But she was, and then it was, she actually has a pretty good documentary on Rachel Dolezal documentary that was on Netflix that I thought was interesting. It was, but she was promoting her book and the whole deal. But Elizabeth Warren, I think Charlamagne's right. That's the same situation, and she was like, it was inappropriate. I shouldn't have done. Yeah, and I'm like, really, Elizabeth? Of course you shouldn't have done it. That's But again, but this again, check this out. I don't think she's got enough traction, at least right now, to actually be the nominee, which I know the president would be chomping at the bits to have her as the opponent. But hey, we still got a little ways before the election next year. So who knows? A miracle might happen, and somebody will get in a political scandal and all this kind of stuff. I don't think she's going to be the front runner, but a year from now, she could be right there in the lead position. So who knows? But again, really good interview from the Breakfast Club. I encourage you to check it out, whether you enjoy Elizabeth Warren or you think she's a wackadoo or whatever. But with that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel. Everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in AkariPress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series brand with the phenomenal Kane & White. We're on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. I'm out.